Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Peep Squad is in the building, baby. So let's talk about the situation with Tahiry and Joe. Joe is responding to Tahiry because yesterday Tahiry came out and said Joe had physically and mentally abused her and tried to hold her down, and also tried, to mentally destroy her too as well. And also he has bullied her over 10 years. She had to suck it up and deal with it because she wanted to be in Hollywood. And she also said that Joe has made fun of his abuse towards her and his music, with a lyric talking about "I'll bust your ribs, I'll break your ribs," which she feels like Joe was responding to his incident, what he did to her, allegedly. So now Joe is responding to the situation. So let's check it out.
And disgusting. This was nasty and disgusting. And for too many years, because I've chose to remain quiet about certain things, just so you could continue a certain narrative, those days are over now. What was alleged here? Let me start with, this young lady is a liar, a cancerous, toxic liar. I'm uncertain why she's lying this way. I'm not certain if she is misspeaking, if she has a false recollection of things. I'm not sure what it is, but she said some things that didn't sit right with my soul, and I'm here to talk about it. Mm-hmm. Young lady, we were toxic. We're talking about 24 and 25-year-old Joe, 25-year-old, 26-year-old you. We were toxic to each other. And I'm glad that the climate has changed and we are able to have some conversations today that we couldn't have back then. Yeah. Because today I'm very comfortable saying you were abusive. You used to beat my ass. You threw shit. You hit me. You kicked me. You did a whole bunch of shit that's not normal for a man to speak out about because it makes you appear less manly. Mm-hmm. But that was a really, really toxic situation. None of that needs to be for public consumption. Just when you go to bed tonight, ask yourself how many times you put hands on me. How many times you've pulled knives on me. How many times you've threatened me. At 25, I didn't know that was toxic.
I've been there.
I thought we was just beefing like it was normal then. But in hindsight now, yeah, that's what we was sick. We were sick. We were sick. We were sick. And I think for both of us, right, we were reminders of each other's toxicity. And the answer for us was, the further we got away from each other would be the further that we got away from toxicity. And that just doesn't appear to be the case here. I'm going to address some of this stuff that was said. You said, or made it seem as though your nose was broken as a result of abuse by Joe. You were not clear in how and when and why you got your nose broken, and that Joe had absolutely nothing to do with that. You are a cancerous, toxic, clout check chasing liar. You called me when you got into that physical altercation with that gentleman and he punched you in your face and your nose was broken. Why this story is coming up now and how it's related to me exactly, I'm unclear. But I can tell you what happened since your memory seems to be a bit foggy all of a sudden. I received a phone call. Yo, I'm heading to Sin City after party. We're going to turn it up. You go there, you get in a situation with a guy, he punches you in the face. I receive a phone call. We on our outs. I only remember this because I was out cheating at the time. I thought I was out cheating. You said you was there with me, but I thought I was out cheating at the time. I was trying to cheat.
Oh yeah, you can cheat at Sue's.
I was trying to cheat at Sue's. I was trying to get my shit off. I got a phone call. Yo, I got into some shit at Sin City. I need you. Come here. We came. I was at the hospital. Were you with me at the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
There's public record of this. See, and that gets me to some of these bloggers and some of these just reporters that refuse to just authenticate some shit or fact check some shit. This shit is easily searchable. But because I've been quiet during our separation and let you carry on with this front and this narrative of single Latina, I stand up to abuse, I say no, I don't need a man, I don't need a baby, I'm getting my shit popping out here. All of that's great. People that know you, we know. You have been clout/check chasing since our separation. And it pains me to speak this way because my respect for women is too high. I've never addressed this because you shouldn't speak about women this way. Women should be allowed to feel how they want to feel, talk how they want to talk, fuck who they want to fuck, and just navigate Earth however they want. But not at the expense of the truth. So let me flat out say the way Maul has just said, Joe Budden does not support domestic abuse at all. I also do not support the demonization of black men. We were toxic, you included, we separated, I sought help. I went through intense therapy to address whatever was revealed when you and I were together. That's okay? It's dangerous to say.
No.
And we have remained not only in touch. When the Votto situation came up and you told me about it personally before this show aired, my first reaction is the same as it was when Homeboy attacked you in Sin City and punched you in the face and altered your nose, that somehow you're putting on me saying that the dude didn't like my raps. The dude didn't like my raps, so he punched you in the fucking face. Are you kidding me? That part was really unclear, but okay.
Which, by the way, is also horrible that happened to Tahiry, by the way.
Yes,
I don't want to get over that. Like, that's a horrible thing.
Yes, it's horrible. But no, it's not okay to be unclear there so you mislead people into thinking, oh, me and Joe had an altercation and my nose was broken. No, you should be very clear, especially with me, with these allegations when they come up. I also think it's important to note that when questioned about it, and I can't take your fucking word, we both are cheating by then, who knows what's happening. But when questioned about it, you hid the identity of that gentleman as well from your significant other who was asking about it. Hey, and then when we go through the proper channels and find out what's going on, yo, who did this? What's going on? There's witnesses everywhere. Yo, street nigga from Brooklyn. No, please don't pursue this. Don't do anything about this, please. I'm working nightlife. I don't want this to come back to my job. That conversation was had. Somehow, it's omitted in all of this. But okay. For me, certain things about the way you move just was never indicative of love. Hence that. Painting me a certain way while I go out of my way still in separation to protect you and the lies and the bullshit you say. See, some of this stuff is pre-existing to Joe. If you have an issue defending abusers, it should be dealt with, absent Joe. Because Joe went and did everything he needed to do to get right. Hence the...
So you guys hear that situation. Basically, Joe is denying breaking Tahiry's nose. And if you guys watch Marriage Boot Camp, Tahiry did say on Marriage Boot Camp that some gentleman, broke her nose while she was out celebrating. She did not say it was Joe. That's why I was surprised she said that Joe broke her nose. I was like, damn, she got her nose broken twice. So, maybe that is the case. But Joe is calling out Tahiry that they were both in a toxic relationship. And they both did things to each other that was awful, which is not okay, point blank, period, whatsoever. And also people are saying, have you seen Tahiry's behavior? How she threw the apples at Vado and things like that. So people are basically saying that Tahiry likes to get into altercations too as well. Not like to get into altercations, but she might pop off an altercation and then the end result is somewhere where she gets hurt. And that is a sad situation too as well. Not that that is true, but Tahiry did grow up in an abusive environment and she did see her father attack her mother all the time. Some people that grow up in abusive situations when they're children, they either become abusers or they either get abused or they stay away from abusive situations, point blank, period. They don't abuse nobody and they don't get into no relationship with abusers, but sometimes people end up becoming abusers, and a woman and a man can both become abusers because of the way they was raised, because of their childhood and what they seen, and their mental aspect of life is affected where they think love is being in an abusive relationship or abusing somebody and putting your hands on them and then getting back together and having beautiful sex and making up, and they just think that that is okay because their first idea of love and a relationship, they got it from their mama, they got it from their father, and watching them navigate through their abusive relationship with their significant other, and that comes to light. And also on Marriage Boot Camp, Dr. Ish was saying to Tahiry, lie detector test was, do you think having abuse in a relationship is actually a relationship? Because basically the doctors are also insinuating that Tahiry thinks being in an abusive relationship or having an abuse in a relationship is actually normal. And you can hear Joe say when he was 25 and Tahiry was 25, they thought it was okay to have the situations that they were having, that, they just beefing with each other. So they both had a lot to learn and grow from. Excuse me. And Joe actually feels like he got the help that he needed. And Tahiry is still searching for help, but he's also calling her a clout chaser too as well. And there's no way, shape, and form that I agree with men abusing women or women abusing men, because as I grew up, my mother opened our home up to abuse women and their children to get them to safer places in life and a safer home or domain. And when I got older, I opened up my apartment to young women too as well. So we definitely understand abuse, and we understand being in an abusive relationship, thinking that it is okay, and having these battles between each other or one another is okay. And two, it's not okay. It's never okay. You never want to hurt the person that you love. You never want to hurt the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. If you feel like you have to put your hands on somebody, you need to go get help, because you're not here to put your hands on people. You are here to elevate, love, protect, and nurture whoever you are with. And if you have the false sense of, okay, fighting and putting our hands on each other and throwing things at one another, calling each other, terrible names and doing terrible things to each other, is awful. And yes, Joe Budden has been accused plenty of times by women saying that he has abused them, but nothing came of them accusations, only to no charges were filed. And when a charge was filed against Joe Budden for larceny and, domestic, with a woman in Washington Heights in 2014, that case was dropped too as well. And we know Esther, she came out and she spoke against Joe Budden on the Breakfast Club. And now we have Tahiry speaking out too as well. And Joe also said he doesn't remember a lot of things from back in the day because he was intoxicated. He was on that elusive stuff, but he clearly remembers the relationship between him and Tahiry, and what went down. And basically he is defending himself, and the same way Tahiry was telling her truth, Joe is telling his truth. And so from this situation, what needs to be done is, you know, Joe said he got help. Maybe he needs some more help. And then Tahiry needs to get the help that she needs to as well. But Joe said, I was at the hospital with you, baby girl, when your nose got broke. I flew down there to where you was in Atlantic City, baby. And I wanted to go after the person, but you told me not to because you was, you know, in the nightlife and you was this bartender, Blase the third. And he said that he had protect Tahiry, you know, reputation and didn't speak up on certain things too as well. And he has receipts because he was in the hospital with her. And you also had Tahiry say yesterday that Joe went to the hospital with her when he broke her ribs or her nose. And so now you have Tahiry saying Joe was at the hospital with me because he injured me and he was sitting right in the room with me. And now you have Joe saying, yes, I was in the hospital with you because I flew down there with my peoples to make sure that you was okay because you got into an altercation with a man at the club, and the man said he hated Joe Budden's lyrics. And we know Tahiry talked about this incident on Marriage Boot Camp where she said she was attacked by a man that she did not even know, and her nose was broken. And now she tells us that Joe broke in her nose, pulled her down the stairs, broke her ribs, Blase in the third. So from this situation, it seems like Joe says that he has receipts, and Tahiry says she has receipts too. So are they going to go further with this situation? Maybe Joe should pay for Tahiry to get some help and seek out some counseling too as well, because you are doing well and you said you wanted to teach people, and maybe you guys can come to a situation where you can both get therapy for the situation, because it seems like Tahiry is still hurt behind what happened between you and her. And then on top of that, she needs help. She needs help because clearly, you know, she needs help. Clearly, because she is clearly still in a situation where she is being involved in physical altercation, aka, you know, Vado. It was last year, but you know, she's still picking the same type of relationships, and she's still behaving in the same type of manner that she probably was behaving in the past, because she picked up them 2 apples and she hummed it at Vado. And she is coming from an abused place. Sometimes hurt people too as well. And then on top of that, she never healed from the pain that she went through with watching her mother being abused by her father, never seeking help, and also getting into them type of relationship throughout her youth and adulthood too as well. So you guys tell me what you think. Tahiry says she got receipts, baby. Joe said he got receipts, he got the documents, and Tahiry says she has it too as well. So you guys tell me what you think. Peace.